Hey, what's up, you guys? My name is Esley Greer from Entertainment Fanatic Reviews, back with another review, and today's review is a collab review with Derek from Derek's Horror Corner, and today we're talking about Hellraiser, which was directed by Clive Barker and is based off his book, Hellbound, or Hell... I forgot the name of the book, I'm sorry. But before we get started, I want to give a big shout out to Christian Dorr from Canto 1408. Me and him were supposed to do this franchise a few months ago. I was part of his Hellraiser franchise review video, and he was supposed to be part of this video, and I got me a new phone, so therefore I don't have any of the videos that I previously had on my other phone. Well, it was actually an iPod, but his video was on there, and when I updated the iPod, his video was deleted, and it deleted a lot of my other videos. He actually met Doug Bradley and Clive Barker, which was really cool, but I've been rambling too much, so yeah, let's get started. So for plot, story, and direction, you center around this couple that just moved into this house, and one of them is a cheating bitch. I don't like to call women bitches, but if you cheat on your man, you a bitch, especially with his own brother that's a sex addict and he's already fucked up. That's just fucked up. To me, she's the real villain of this film, because if I had my fiance cheat on me, I don't know, I'd probably go fucking crazy, because I've been cheated on before, and that's the worst thing that could happen to you. It just so happens Frank is gone, which is the main character's brother, the one that she's cheating on her husband with. He's gone because he's with Pinhead and the Cenobites. And it just so happens when they're moving in, bringing the bed upstairs, one of the main characters, he has this nail slide across his hand, and he gets cut, and I don't know, it's a big cut, it's gushing everywhere, and when he goes upstairs, his blood just so happens to fall on the floor, and somehow it brings Frank back to life. And so therefore, I forgot her name, I don't really care to know her name, but she brings Frank people in order for him to eat them, and somehow, with each person that he kills and eats, I don't know, he becomes more human, because when you first see him, he looks really fucked up, but it gets more fucked up as time goes on, until he kills his own brother. And I'm gonna get into that later, because it's just really stupid how it played out. But I don't know, there's some really stupid decisions in this film, but I do like the cast. You have the characters you hate, and then you got the characters that you root for. Then you got the final girl in here, played by Ashley Lawrence, who plays Kirsty, and she does fine in her first film. But for plot, story, and direction, it was hard to follow most of these characters, because most of these characters are, like I said, I see them more as the villain than the Cenobites. So for plot, story, and direction, I'm going to give it a 3 out of 5. And so on to the kills, gore, and effects. This is a very effects heavy film. If you love the 80s, you're gonna love this film, because it's full of practical effects, and I don't know, it's just, some of them are really good and some of them are really bad, but that's the 80s for you. It's really cheesy. There's like really good effects, and then there's really cheesy effects that are so bad, but I don't know, you just can't help but laugh at it and have a fun time making fun of it. The Cenobites to me are the highlight of this film, and I love the way that Pinhead, lead Cenobite in this film, I love the way he looks. I love the chatter, and then I love you got the fat guy, I forgot what his name was, and then you got the woman, hers, I don't know, you see part of her neck, you see part of her throat, and oh god, it's fucked. But they just all look really cool, but there's this one monster that's in the hallway, it just looks really fucking bad. But I don't know, it's a effects heavy film, and I like the transformation of Frank as time goes on. So therefore, I'm going to say for kills, gore, and effects, I'm going to give it a 4.25 out of 5. But it also sucks that there's not really a kill that really stands out to me, because a lot of them, he's like, don't look at me, and it's stupid. But most of them, you see Julia, I think that's her name, she hits some of the guys that she brings home with a hammer or whatever. But, there's not really a kill to me that really stands out, and I just watched this last night. But with that said, let's go on to the acting. So for acting, like I said, everyone does their part. You have the characters that you hate, Julia. Then you got Frank. I fucking hate Frank. Then you got one of my favorite 80s and 90s actors, Andrew Robinson, which was the barber in Child's Play 3, which I know Derek loves the barber in Child's Play 3. And he also plays in Pumpkinhead 2. And he plays in a lot of other films throughout the 80s and 90s. I ain't seen a lot of his stuff here recently, but I don't know. It'd be cool to I don't know. It'd be cool to see some of his work now. And then Kirsty, played by Ashley Lawrence, she does good, but it's her first film and she's playing a final girl, and there's a lot of screaming and unnecessary stuff that goes on. There's a lot of scenes with her when she's having a nightmare or something, and there's these baby sounds. That's the stupidest shit I've ever heard. I wish that they could have just cut that out. It knocked down this film like a point for me because it just got on my nerves so bad. But I don't know who did the noise. I don't know if it's a real baby or what, but every time that she has a nightmare or something happens to her, those baby sounds happen, and I'm just like, you serious? Even the side characters, they do their job. Then you got the guys that Julia brings home. They're nothing special, but they all deserve to die. And so for acting, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 5. And so on to the ending and finale. So it just so happens that Kirsty played with the box and she solved it. And then, Pinhead comes for her, and the Cenobites come for her. She's like, I can lead you to Frank, just spare my life. And so she leads them to Frank, and then Frank just so happens to kill his brother, which was Kirsty's father. And this whole time, after he killed her and she sees her father, which was really Frank, I'm like, he's talking differently. I mean, it's still Andrew Robinson's voice. Then you got his eyes, they're a different color. Then you got blood that takes up most of his head, that's like around here. And I don't know, like, how can you not tell that's not your father? And then, but there's another thing for me. How does Frank have Andrew Robinson's voice? That makes no bit of sense. Like, you cut out his voice box and cut out your... I don't know. It's stupid. After she sees her dad's real body, the Cenobites come, and then they get Frank, and they tear his body apart. I love when he says Jesus wept, and then they just pull him apart. It's really cool. And then they try and come after Kirsty, but she gets away, and I don't know. It's a good ending for her, I guess. But I don't know. It's nothing... I don't know. I didn't enjoy this film as much as I did the first time I watched it. And even then, I watched this with my mom and my stepdad because my stepdad said he loved this movie when he was younger. And so we watched it, and I felt really awkward watching it, especially some of the sex scenes and just especially scenes with Julia. I don't like her. But for ending and finale, I'm going to say a 3.25 out of 5 because I really like that part when he says Jesus wept and then they just pull his body apart. It's really cool. And so on to the main question. Would I watch it again? I would, just not anytime soon. I don't know if I'm ever going to have like a Hellraiser marathon because the first time I watched these was about 2 years ago, a year and a half ago, like a few months before I started my channel, and I enjoyed a majority of them. And I'm worried about some of them that I really did enjoy. Like, I enjoyed this one when I saw it. I think I gave it like an 8 out of 10 in my little journal. I'm going to say that for Hellraiser, you're going to have to pack a bowl, or at least just alcohol is going to be required because, I don't know, even at the ending, I was checking every 2 or 3 minutes. I'm like, when is this movie going to be done? And I figured I had 20 more minutes. I'm like, fuck. I don't know, I wasn't the biggest fan of this film this time around. But if you guys found any entertainment in this video, let me know in the comments below. And as always, don't be scared. To like, comment, subscribe, and share would be highly appreciated. And peace.